हेलो। ओके।
What's up?
व्हाट्सअप क्या चल रहा है? तो बिफोर वी स्टार्ट मैं थोड़ा सा इंट्रो वगैरह करने वाला हूँ एंड
Mhm.
फिर हम लोग चालू करेंगे। ठीक है,
Mhm.
रिकॉर्डिंग है। ओके। अब ये थोड़ा सा ड्रामेटिक टाइप का है। आप मतलब थिएटर से तो आपको समझ में आएगा, तो थोड़ा सा ठीक। ओके। Namaste, dear Sadhano, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of our podcast. With me, like always, मेरे बहुत ही skilled और highly trained professional co-host Mr. पार्थ और हमारे साथ all the way जुड़ चुकी हैं हमारी बहुत ही स्पेशल गेस्ट आकांक्षा सेठी जी। आकांक्षा जो है बहुत ही टैलेंटेड इंडिविजुअल है। वो काफी टाइम से गिगिंग सीन में है। उन्होंने बहुत ही प्रोलिफिक काम किया है। उन्होंने अपने खुद के दो ओरिजिनल्स निकाले हैं, थोड़ा सा ठहर और
विंटर।
विंटर उन्होंने हाल ही में निकाला है। और विंटर था भी हाल ही में, तो बट सॉरी बट आकांक्षा ने बहुत ही वेरी टाइप का काम किया है। शी इज बीन पुटिंग आउट कवर्स, शी इज आल्सो वेंचर्ड इनटू थिएटर, शी इज आल्सो had brush up with dance, and she's also done a lot of different genres of music, so we're really excited to talk to her. Namaste Akanksha, kaise ho aap? So glad to have you here in our podcast today.
Thank you so much. I am good. How are you guys doing? And why
Lovely.
is this podcast scheduled so late? Like in the night?
Uh, I don't know. हम
Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Chill.
मैं मेरे पास भी
You
सवाल
wanted
है।
to see theater, so now see na. Now see, this is
Oh,
theater.
the drama's on.
Catching
तो
people off guard.
बट नहीं, मेरे पास भी सवाल का जवाब नहीं है। हम में से किसी के पास भी सवाल का जवाब नहीं। एक्चुअली होता क्या है, वी आर डूइंग पॉडकास्ट विद अ फ्यू पीपल अब्रॉड आल्सो, और हो क्या गया कि
Yeah, I figured.
हाँ, तो हमने मतलब हमें आदत हो गई ऐसे बात करने की। और फिर बट आपका यूजुअल लाइक आप मतलब लाइक बोलते हैं कि आर्टिस्ट का प्रोडक्टिव आवर्स रहते हैं और वो लोग काम करते हैं, उनके सर्टेन आवर्स रहते हैं, कुछ लोग बहुत अर्ली मॉर्निंग राइजर्स रहते हैं। हाउ इज इट फॉर यू? आप कैसे मतलब
No,
आप करते हैं?
it I think it varies from artist to artist. मेरा creativity does not cater to a specific time. मतलब कि मेरे को
हाँ,
कभी ऐसी before yesterday I think I was just up at 12 a.m. and I was just about to sleep, and लेटते हुए एक idea I was like I have to like write this right now, and till
ओके,
2 o'clock 3 o'clock I was just writing it, and it's very weird
क्या
how it
बात है।
works. There's no particular time, there's no particular
हाँ,
day or something. Sometimes I'll just keep writing for like 2 days straight, and फिर weeks का gap हो जाएगा because it's
हाँ,
inspiration based.
नो,
So
एब्सोल्युटली,
that's how it.
एब्सोल्युटली। बट आई एम श्योर
Yeah.
कि आप इतने टाइम से कर रहे हो, तो यू हैव grasp over it कि you can also command that sort of आप you can give yourself that time. I think initially जब artists start out करते हैं, तो it's important for them to be consistent, और थोड़ा सा एक वो चीज है। बट was it like this for you always कि where you knew that you should you're patient with yourself in terms of processing कि मैं अपने आप को इतना टाइम देने वाली हूँ and then I'm going to go about it, कि या over the years you sort of like trial and error के बाद अलग अलग processes try करने के बाद कि you realize कि it's important to give yourself time? How has it been for you?
I think I think it was a little bit of both, and
Right.
I definitely wanted to take this up as a
हाँ,
career in my early 20s and college days. But I ended up working after college, after graduation, for like 2 years, and I think that was one point where I realized that 9 to 5 is not my thing. So I just because I couldn't give time to music at all. I used to be
okay,
busy all day at work. घर आओ तो एकदम थक जाओ, and then कुछ
right.
करने का मन ना करे. And then of course creativity requires that kind of space, around you and everything else. So
True.
I think I finally quit that job in like December 2019, and
Okay.
yeah, 2 साल हो गए अब
उसके बाद तो दुनिया
lockdown
बदल
में. So
गई।
yeah.
तो अच्छा, नहीं नहीं, सही है। तो आप मेरे को ये बताओ,
Yeah.
व्हाट वी रियली फाउंड इंटरेस्टिंग इज कि जो हम आपसे पहले भी बात कर रहे थे कि आप काफी टाइम से गिग कर रहे हो। आई थिंक गिगिंग, हम जिन भी आर्टिस्ट से बात कर चुके हैं, आई थिंक गिगिंग पर्सनली भी हमें लगता है इज अ वेरी गुड ट्रेनिंग ग्राउंड फॉर आर्टिस्ट, क्योंकि आप you're constantly putting yourself out there, आप एक कंसिस्टेंट बेसिस पे लॉन्गर ड्यूरेशन के लिए परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं। आप जाके अलग अलग
Definitely.
क्राउड्स के लिए केटर कर रहे हैं, अलग अलग रूम्स में अलग अलग वेन्यूज पे प्ले कर रहे हैं, और
Hmm.
आप रूम्स को रीड बेटर कर सकते हैं, आप अपने सेट लिस्ट
Yeah.
को कैसे पेश करना है वो अंडरस्टैंड कर सकते हैं। तो आप
Right.
मुझे ये बताइए, आपने गिगिंग जो है वो कहाँ से शुरुआत की, आपकी एज क्या थी, एंड व्हाट वाज द काइंड ऑफ गिग्स दैट यू वर डूइंग, और हाउ डिड दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ सेट यू अप फॉर द म्यूजिशियन दैट यू आर टुडे?
I think, considering that I wanted to be a full-time singer-songwriter or a musician, whatever, earlier, I didn't know it. I hadn't explored the writing side of myself, but yeah, I wanted to be a singer eventually. So it's very ironic that I was like terrified to just get up on stage and perform. I used to have shows, I used to have breakdowns right before going on stage and singing. And there was this one time when I was in school, and I think I was in class 11 or something, and
Okay.
there was this huge carol service which used to happen every year around Christmas.
Oh,
So
even
because
I was a part
I
of the
was,
carol. I
yeah,
used to be
yeah.
part of the
So I was
choir. Right.
part of the choir, yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I was given a solo because throughout my school life, I was the only one who was given a solo. I don't know why, but yeah. So I was very little, yeah. Like I was standing backstage and just the song that was about to end, and I was shivering. And this one teacher comes up
Oh.
to me, and she
Hmm.
says that what happened, and she was very
Hmm.
concerned because she was a primary school teacher. She was new. She did not really. She hadn't seen me perform enough. So I was like, ma'am, I'm really scared, and I get these nerves before getting up on stage. She's like, I
Hmm.
have seen you perform before, you do not look nervous at all. Look like you're the most confident little child singing in front of a, crowd of 200. Parents were also there.
Hmm.
And I think that was one thing which I have always sort of kept at the back of my mind whenever I go on stage
Hmm.
throughout.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I don't even remember that teacher's name. She probably doesn't remember me. But I think these little things really boost you up in, little ways. And I think
Hmm.
that I have been singing since like the age of 10. But
Okay. Okay.
gigs I started when I was in college.
Hmm.
My first gig was at Humming Tree, Bangalore.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah, that was an open mic, and
Right.
we did a friend and I, we were like performing, and
Okay.
crowd really loved it. And I think I mean, from that there I went on to performing in college for fests and stuff like that. So I think, धीरे धीरे करके थोड़ा सा confidence build होता ही है. Stage fright भी चला गया धीमे धीमे. Although I still get nerves, but I'm not like, oh no, I can't go. So yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
And
That's
unfortunately, the
wonderful.
lockdown has stopped that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I missed
Yeah.
the stage.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. All of us do. All of us do. I think वो stage तो मतलब आप 50 लोग के लिए play कर
Yeah.
रहे हो 5 लोग के लिए play कर रहे हो stage तो stage होता है तो आपको I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
think I think
Yeah, I mean, it's
I think as artists, I think everyone wants to do that. I mean, that's the primary thing that
yeah.
everyone wants
yeah.
to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, if
So
you sit in your room, you produce, you make music, where will you
Mhm.
perform it?
True.
Especially in these times.
true.
Kaise aap,
True.
internet is the only way you can
Mhm.
actually spread your music, your art. But
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
performing is a different kind of high. Yeah,
For sure.
there's nothing like
For
it.
sure. कंप्लीटली एग्री. तो आप मेरे को ये बताओ, हमें पता चला कि आपने मतलब क्लासिकल भी बोला, क्लासिकल म्यूजिक इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्योंकि आई थिंक दैट सेट्स अप बेस,
Yeah,
एक डिसिप्लिन ला देता है एज अ
yeah,
म्यूजिशियन. यू सॉर्ट
Mhm.
ऑफ इम्बाइब
for
दैट,
sure.
यू आर ऑलरेडी आप अपने वोकल रेंज को एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हो, आप नए नए राग सीख रहे हो, यू
Yeah,
लर्निंग ऑल दीस थिंग्स. Were your parents, some people, I mean, I'm sure that when you're that young, you can't enroll yourself
yeah,
to some, so I'm sure आपके
right.
parents
Obviously, yeah.
would have been very supportive in that sense. So tell us more about that. How did sort of classical music? Because what we really found interesting is कि थोड़ा सा Hair or Winter, like even Parth Bhai and I were talking
Like,
about this, कि
yeah,
वो दोनों गाने, they don't sound like it's from the same musician, and that could for a lot of people scare them because a lot of people want to establish their sound, right? When you're starting out.
exactly.
But I really respect you, and I for that कि you put those two songs one after the other, because I feel कि एक तो आप अपनी versatility को establish कर रहे हो, अपनी
Yeah,
range को establish कर रहे हो. So coming
Even
back to
even I mean I need to add Reckless to that list as well. I mean
yeah.
that's a totally different thing, totally
Exactly.
different vibe to it. So yeah, I
absolutely.
mean,
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's the whole point. Like, learning classical, of course, parents were super supportive. They still are, touch wood.
Right.
And, my dad enrolled me in this group classes when I was little. And जो मेरे गुरुजी थे वहाँ पे उन्होंने कहा कि अच्छा, what is your name? And I was very छोटू. I was like, what, 7, 8. And
Okay.
he's like, what is it? I was like, Akanksha. And he's like, कि अच्छा आप बहुत अच्छा गाते हो. And I think group से ज़्यादा one-on-one training will really benefit
help
you.
me. Okay.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So ever since then, he's been my guruji, and he has taught me so much. Matlab, I can't explain in words. Everything that I have learned in terms of classical music, I owe it to him,
Oh, how
and
wonderful. Okay.
it is. I think, yeah, like, a very interesting question actually. So yeah, of course, it establishes a pretty solid base for your vocals and your
Right.
control over your voice, and the
Absolutely.
understanding of different notes and a lot of things. classical music, learning that, it just brings a lot of things to your knowledge and to your, changes your perspective in a lot of ways. So
True,
yeah, I
true,
think
true.
Thoda Sa Thehr and Winter and Reckless are three totally, like, it's like a triangle. I've done three different genres, and I was really skeptical while releasing Winter, because I thought ki chalo acha, thoda sa Thehr is like a little mainstream, this
Hmm.
ukulele
Hmm.
song, which is like everybody can groove to. And Winter is the kind of song that grows on you.
Hmm.
So, I
Right.
mean, it will take time, because first of all, it's a lengthy song.
Hmm.
Second, it builds up in its own time. It takes its own time to, create that build up. So,
True.
I was just, I mean, what do I say? Like, it's been an amazing experience doing all
Hmm.
three. So, yeah.
Yeah. Right, right. That's really interesting. आप मेरे को ये बताओ, when we're talking about these three songs also in particular,
Yeah.
what has been the one which has been really sort of quick in its sort of by the time from its inception to how it sort of came to be? Because songs can take time, at the same time,
Yeah.
they can be very quick also. So
Yeah.
what was the one which was really like personal to you? I'm sure that they were personal in their own way, all of them.
Yeah.
What was the one which was very quick in terms of like how you channelized it and it came out of all the
Neither.
songs? Neither. Okay.
Neither.
Okay. So what is it?
Basically, Reckless was a collaboration, and it was not written by me.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I think the hard part is writing, and वो चीज़ अगर मैंने नहीं करी, so I think बाकी का जो recording होता है या video making होता है, I think that happens like this, But writing and really
Right.
putting your thoughts into words, it's something which takes a lot of time. So
Mhm.
in terms of which song is taking the least time, I would say Winter. You know, I
Hmm.
mean, I wrote it in like a week, I think,
Mhm.
and of course, उसके बाद थोड़ा सा वो रह गया, because I just didn't. It was too personal to like release. I thought that, okay, I will just be putting myself out there, and the song is very vulnerable. It just
Hmm.
portrays me in a very vulnerable state. So I
Mhm.
think I was afraid of that, and how will it be received and things like that. But yeah, I think it's pretty good, I would say. So I had to like release it, and yeah, I mean,
Right.
ऐसे तो that was the fastest. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's wonderful. मुझे what I even found interesting is कि speaking about like your background,
Yeah.
मुझे लगता है कि I think जो आपके childhood रहता है, जो आपका skill set रहता है, वो आपको आप कितने long term में last करते हो उसको भी establish करता है. Because एक तो music comes from a personal space, of course, but
Of course.
also how you are as a person will also sort of go hand in hand with कि आप कितने long term में sustain करोगे. And why I want to bring that is because आपने like you've learned Kathak, right? If I'm not
Bharatnatyam.
uh, Bharatnatyam, right? You've learned Bharatnatyam, which is like a hardcore traditional dance form.
Yeah.
At the same time, you've also done theatre, and both of them are performing arts, which also sort of tie into the performing artist and a musician. तो
Yeah.
आप मेरे को ये बताओ, how did chronologically everything happen? Of course, आपने classical सीखा. You said कि from the age of 10 आपने school में also you played music and
Yeah.
all those things. How did sort of these things happen? Did they happen eventually after you learning music, or were they always a part? And how did they sort of help you as the performing artist, as a performer that you are on stage, in terms of confidence and other aspects, if you would want to bring them to the forefront?
Yeah. So, fun fact, I learned Bharatnatyam before I started learning classical music.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah,
Okay. Wow.
and so basically, I learned Bharatnatyam for 2 years. And alongside, I was learning classical, but then thoda sa wo inclination hua, and I got a lot of this thing ups for कि आपको classical में थोड़ा जाना चाहिए. Dance तो होता रहेगा, चलो ठीक है, होता रहेगा,
Hmm.
whatever. So, but I think I know the basics of Bharatnatyam. And if you know even one dance form in for as much as time for as you've known it, I think it really helps you sort of just what do I say, what is that word, like just incorporate other dance forms in it. So for example,
Hmm.
Right.
I did a Kathak cover on Instagram a while ago, last year, I think. And it's not very tough, if you know a dance form, then you can just, I mean, it comes naturally that way.
Sure, sure,
So
absolutely.
that, and I think I didn't start theater up until I was in college, and
Okay,
my
okay.
first play actually was in second year. Second year, and I was not even acting in that. I was singing actually. So
Okay,
I
okay.
had sung. It was based on war, and I had sung
Hmm,
this song Ekunkar. So
hmm,
Hmm.
hmm, hmm.
say I had a huge circle of friends, and only used to like write the scripts and direct it, and things like that. So I was like, I want to give it a shot. I want to give acting a shot. So I started with mime, and mime was something which I loved because, there is nothing like expressing emotions and, your everything that the scene demands without talking. That's and I think we came first in that. So I mean, I was playing the lead in that, and it was on this thing on rape, and it turned out brilliantly well. I mean, I can't even explain it. And I was just, yeah. So I think all these things combined have obviously brought confidence, first, for starters. Second, I
Sure.
think I have started, acknowledging a lot of aspects of performing arts in terms of, like, how to emote, and everything is connected. There's not really one thing which I can put a pin on. So,
Sure.
while you're on stage, you're acting or you're dancing or you're singing, whatever, I think it all just combines in everything. And my writing is a totally different thing, because it comes from what I'm feeling on a daily basis, how I am,
Sure.
how my days go, and what all moods that I experience, and whatever is going on in life. So I think, yeah, I mean, it's just all cluttered, but still very sorted that way.
Right. Oh, wow. That's a good sort of yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I feel so. I
Way
feel
to
so
put it.
because
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. I think so. It's sort of like, I think theater, even like acting, sort of is like a cathartic process. I'm sure that's the case with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. What is like your favorite performing art apart from like music? What do you like performing more? Dance or acting? What do you think helps you channelize yourself more?
Yeah, I won't include singing in that thing
Yeah,
because
you wouldn't
that's not.
you wouldn't include.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But
what is it?
I think between acting and dancing, I prefer dancing. Yeah.
Okay. And why is it so? Like, why do you prefer dancing?
Because, I mean, I don't know, there's not one answer to it, but, I think I convey better. I convey emotions better while dancing. It's not like I don't do that while acting, but
Right.
while dancing, I'm all myself, like no inhibitions, nothing, no guards. So it's brilliant. It's something else only. So
That's really interesting. That's really interesting.
yeah.
So, speaking about, dancing, I'm sure like that has sort of even helped you, understand the rhythms,
Yeah,
understand move songs better, understand, how to structure them and all those things in the
of course.
basic level. It sort of becomes inherent to you, right? Speaking about all those things, like gigging, doing, being in performing arts, I feel that, even the social media presence is its own thing, right? Where you are performing in your own natural stage persona, but you are sort of a version of it on social media based on how you're looking
Yeah.
at things.
Yeah.
You are somebody who's really has a good social media presence in terms of like you have a good set of followers, and I think you have a loyal audience also, which is a very good thing, which is an
Mm.
asset for an audience, for an artist in general. So आप मेरे को ये बताओ, before like reels, I would want to sort of look at it like, like they say before COVID and after COVID.
Yeah. Oh God.
And not to like sort of compare reels with COVID, that would be wrong. Uh, what do you sort of look at Instagram before, sort of the thing when there was like this whole surge of like IG lives and
Yeah.
IGTV videos and your normal videos, which is a rarity on Instagram. Nobody posts them now, which I feel they should. What was it like? How did you sort of put yourself together? And then we could sort of, touch down later upon like the IG series you've done, or like a live with a very well-renowned musician that you did that you also spoken about.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How is your relationship with social media been? How has it sort of helped you as an artist or discoverability? All those
Yeah.
things.
I think good question though, but yeah. So before lockdown, I think I was a little laid back in terms
Right.
of posting and stuff, like, because like, okay, I knew that I have a certain amount of following, and I have like my this thing, people who follow me who are actually truly loyal to what I do, and that's an amazing feeling. So I used to get a little laid back कि चलो ठीक है आज नहीं करते हैं कल नहीं करते हैं, things like that. But I think with the onset of COVID, ever since that, and everybody knows, like last year, internet has been flooded with content of all kinds. And
True.
when
Yeah.
while it is intimidating, of course, for each artist to like always be in competition, it's an unsaid competition, it's just
Sure.
obligatory to like keep posting because you have to be relevant. So it is, of course, a pressure in its own. But I think lockdown really made me realize that this is the best time to like give your entire attention to what you love doing, because otherwise then what will you do? You will travel to a different city, you take up a job, you'll be busy or whatever. Like gigs will also not really give you the time to like just make your social media presence really thick. So I think over the lockdown I started posting, and I started with this live series which I named Songs in the Dark. So it was about every Sunday around 12ish in the night I would go live with a black background and just not talk. I mean, I wouldn't say much, and it was just like a medley of songs for like half an hour, just to calm people. And it really got a good response. Like a couple of I think pages even covered that part of it.
Oh,
And
how wonderful. Okay.
yeah, so I think, when everybody's struggling in such a time, I think what the kind of comments that people used to send, it would just, I mean, it was so overwhelming. Like, you could
Sure.
actually, calm somebody down during such a time. It's the feeling is like,
Absolutely.
I can't explain. So that, and of course, I went live with S Answer, which was like, it was a highlight of 2020. Like,
Right.
I went live with him thrice, and by the third time, he was like, "Oh,
Wow.
I recognize you now." I was like, "Oh, thank God!" Oh God, that was like
Wow.
something. It was an achievement in itself.
Right.
And I sent him my both my songs when they released, and he really had some really good things to say about it. Then I think
Oh, wonderful.
Rolling Stone covered "Thoda Sa Theher,"
थोड़ा
and in
सा है.
that they
Okay.
had mentioned, that Ehsan Nurani's live and this and that. So I sent that
Oh,
article to him, and he's like, "Wow, that's so amazing! Kudos!"
wow. That's a flex.
That
That's
is
a,
that is that is a flex in itself. So yeah, I
yeah,
mean, what he's done over the lockdown, it's incredible. And
sure. Absolutely.
now with this new Reels feature coming in, I think people are going insane over it. I mean, it's a good thing, with the
Hmm.
with the level of concentration that our generation holds.
You
I think
just said
30
it very
seconds.
nice. I can sense that, but yeah.
I'm just
When we start talking about generation in particular, but yeah, no, no, no.
I just I feel like attention span is like, even mine, if I talk
Absolutely.
about myself, it's going down. And I think 30
Sure.
seconds, 15-second reels are like the best way. It's an amazing way to like showcase whatever you've
Absolutely.
got. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, it's making huge progress, and I love it. I love doing reels now.
Oh, that's great. That's great. No, I feel रील भी लोग आजकल आधा देखने लगे हैं, which is like a disappointing thing. मैं बोलूँ अगर
I
आप रील भी आधा देख रहे हो तो मैं डालूँ क्या 1 सेकंड का वीडियो डालूँ?
हाँ, मतलब what will you put? फिर क्या डालोगे आप? 30 second भी you can't give of
हाँ,
your 24
exactly.
hours.
Exactly. I mean, it is, and I think it sort of changes. See, I get it. Like in one place they say adapt to survive, and understand new platform. But आप अपने आप को कितना short change करोगे? मेरे हिसाब से I think authenticity maintain करके रखना और जो आपका forte है उसको सही platform और content form में डालना is also sort of its own thing.
Exactly. It's
क्योंकि
yeah, because now if you see Reels, Instagram has been pushing Reels like anything,
right,
and the reach of IGTVs and normal posts and even stories, it's just gone down. So
for
people are
sure,
just cashing on the Reels. I mean, why not? कि चलो बढ़ रहे हैं,
absolutely,
व्यूअरशिप बढ़ रही है, आपके फॉलोअर्स बढ़ रहे हैं, आपका कम्युनिटी ग्रो हो रहा है, सो आपका नेटवर्क बढ़ रहा है, सो there's no harm. But like I think,
yeah,
you know ठीक है चलो, IGTV should also have that kind of a reach, because
it should,
there is something you can't fit in like 30 seconds. No, you have to
Right,
have
absolutely,
right.
more than that to like,
absolutely.
yeah. So
For sure, for sure. No, no, I completely agree on that part because we've also, sort of put like 2 videos of every podcast on our IGTVs also.
yeah,
But yeah, I think yeah, you can't. Yeah, so up you put your foot down. You say, "Okay, ठीक है." I mean, if it's going to be this way, it's going to be this way. If they want to do it that way, they do it that way. I do it my way.
yeah,
क्या होगा? I think 500 follower कम मिल जाएंगे महीने के. 500 views कम मिल जाएंगे. But I'm sure कि you are
yeah,
putting what you want authentically, right?
exactly,
Long term
yeah.
में तो वही है. क्योंकि रील की तो वैलिडिटी भी वैसी है लाइक और न्यूज़पेपर मतलब कि बिकॉज
हाँ,
इट्स सो हैपनिंग
आया और
सो
गया मतलब types,
एब्सोल्युटली
everybody is
एब्सोल्युटली
doing it, so you have, what can you expect? Like,
एब्सोल्युटली टोटली एग्री बट आई थिंक हाँ लाइक उसके बहुत सारे प्रोज भी बट आई थिंक इट्स सॉर्ट ऑफ मतलब इट पुट्स आर्टिस्ट आल्सो ऑन इन अ स्पॉट की हाउ कैन आई
yeah,
put because I really feel for musicians also because आप like somebody like you who's done like gigs are mainly about covers unless आप अपने खुद
yeah,
के you're doing when you're starting in the gig scene of course it's about covers and then sort of come to social media you put your own covers and all of those things how do you sort of condense your covers into like a reel like what I feel like do you like put like your favorite part of the song in it
yeah.
how do you go about it
I
Or
do
you
that.
sort of
You
do
know,
you do
so
that?
I have started this recent. So there's this thing called Reels Remix, which
Mhm.
has
Oh yeah,
just been introduced. I'm
sure.
sure you guys know about it. So
Yeah.
the thing is that everybody's like doing remixes and all, and it's like a split screen, and people are collaborating all over the world. So I just thought like I'll bring something different to it, because right
Hmm.
now I didn't come across any indie artist or like anybody from my network do the
Mhm.
same thing. So I was like, चलो
Hmm.
ठीक है, let's give it a shot. क्या होगा, मतलब fail हो जाएगा तो ठीक है, नहीं करेंगे next वाले reel से. But so it's like a karaoke thing where I just I play the guitar and I
Hmm.
leave the main part of the song for the other person to sing, whoever wants to collaborate.
क्या
So
बात.
that
Okay.
way, and then in the chorus, if I bring harmonies, so they can harmonize, and it sounds brilliant. You know, the
Mhm.
kinds of, I mean, the kinds of people who have been collaborating, and they're all super cool and they're super amazing in their own unique way. It's so good to see
Hmm.
people, you know, they're just coming out and putting their stuff. It's, you know, because in Instagram and social media as a place, it's pretty intimidating if you see.
Oh,
So a lot
absolutely.
of people have messaged me, no, I will send it to you, but I don't want to post it because, you know, I'm very shy. I was like, it's all right. It's absolutely okay for, you
Hmm.
know, whichever way you're comfortable. But,
Hmm.
you know, appreciating these things and just the confidence, just the effort, I think that is something which I've been doing. And it's really made me feel really good, you know, that I've been able to bring so many people together for this. So, and it has a pretty decent reach also. So I think I'll
No, no, I'm
continue
sure,
doing
I'm
that.
sure. Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's wonderful in many ways. You know, there's a friend of ours,
Yeah.
Akshit Dhal, हमारा एक दोस्त है,
Yeah.
Polish artist. So अच्छा आप जानते हो उसको?
Yeah.
तो
Yeah.
oh, great, great. So he also recently had put out like, so what I feel about reels is also कि आप या तो you can use that as an excuse कि I'm not going to put in extra effort. You know, like you said कि
Mhm.
आप harmonies कर रहे हो, आप ये कर रहे हो.
Yeah.
These vocal layerings and all these things can be sort of, you know, लोग बोलते हैं ठीक है मैं IGTV में डाल दूंगा या अपने YouTube वीडियो.
Yeah.
And Akshay also sort of put out, you know, he had put out some very good sort of reel covers, and he was also doing harmonies. He was giving it production.
Yeah.
So I feel कि when you go the extra mile, it sort of speaks for itself also. So
Of
and
course. Of course.
आप भी content रहते हो.
Yeah.
So that's the way absolutely.
But I
Also,
think again, with the real business coming in, I think with people going absolutely crazy behind it, it is also, I mean, despite all the pros that are attached to it, I think one main con is like just the anxiety you feel, you know, when you have to like post every second day, because then out of sight, out of mind, क्या करोगे आप फिर? You know, there's always somebody better who can take your place.
Mhm.
So, थोड़ा सा that's a challenge, and you know, as long as you take it in your stride, I think that's amazing. So.
oh, absolutely. Speaking of taking places, who are the people you sort of look up to in the scene, and you, I mean, in a healthy way, look at as
Mhm.
competition. You know, you have these wonderful musicians. Not to name names, if you want to, please do. I wouldn't want to name names and oppose them to you. Of course, there are some wonderful examples in the scene. They're doing
Yeah,
tremendous work, just like you.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
आप मेरे को ये बताओ कि who are the people that you really look up to, and who are the people that you sort of look up to in a healthy way, in a healthy competitive spirit?
I
Uh,
think because right now I am not at that level where I can, you know, be compared with say Kamakshi Khanna or
sure.
um, Abhilasha Sinha. But
Mhm.
definitely I look up to them. I am so inspired by Abhilasha's work. Whatever she's doing, it's brilliant,
Sure.
and it's just, and I think on my level, I think if we call it a healthy competition, then there's Abhin Joshi, Abhin Antanish. I don't know if you've heard,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
but
yeah, yeah, sure.
yeah. So him, and then there's Ditty. I don't know her full name. Don't
Okay.
tell me you love me, I would only cry. The one who's written that song. So I initially when
I
I
think
heard that
about
song,
the song, yeah.
I was
Hmm.
like, who's this foreign artist? Like, they're like, no, she's Indian. She is
Yeah, we were
younger.
also when we heard Winter, we were like, who's the foreign artist?
No, please. Oh God, no.
Flattering, flattering, but
No.
yeah.
Oh God. And but
Uh,
I think yeah, I mean, not to say competition, but I think everybody is doing a great job in their own field and their own genre. And lately, I've started this thinking I want to be in competition with myself where I was earlier, because I feel that personally, ever since 2019 to 21, I have really grown in terms of letting go of all the inhibitions that I used to carry along. And yeah, so I think that's something which I credit
you want to
myself
touch
for.
down upon those inhibitions because the people watching probably could sort of relate to it. You don't need to
Mhm.
go into the depth of it. If
Hmm.
you want to, that'll be appreciated. If
Yeah.
not, completely fine. For the people, you know, because I feel that, you know, this is such a, like you said, that I'm sure that reels is not the only thing which is sort of triggered the insecurity within artists, and insecurity is a
Absolutely.
good sort of attribute to have. It's a healthy sort of thing because
Yeah.
it gets the best out of you,
Hmm.
right? Uh, I'm sure that insecurity can vary from, platform to platform, gig to gig, sort of where you are situated into the whole thing. What are the kind of insecurities that you've had that are sort of, you've got past of, like you said that, you change as a person, you look at yourself as a competition, which I feel as cliched as it sounds is actually the most healthy attitude because there's this very wonderful psychologist named Professor Jordan Peterson. He talks about it's an unfair race to, compete yourself with other people, but it's a fair race to compete with who you were yesterday.
Exactly.
And he says slow incremental improvement from your initial baseline can take you to places you probably didn't presume yourself to be. So
Absolutely.
I think it's about the slow game. Instagram can tell us
Yeah.
to, just keep posting every day and become into machines. The Spotify CEO, with all due respect, will come and say that you should release 20 tracks a year, which I feel is
Yeah.
sort of. I mean, initially you can do put yourself out there if you've done that work 2, 3, 4 years. You've taken that work, you can sort of put it out. But yeah, coming back to the question, what are these sort of attributes that you think that you've sort of led past, like you sort of label them as insecurities? I feel like everybody just can't be white. There's grey to everybody.
Of
So
course, of course.
what
That is
are those things?
that's very true actually. And I feel that, everybody has a clock, everybody has their own time, and
Sure.
people are moving at their own pace. And that's why comparing yourself with somebody who's probably released 5 songs in a year where you've released only two. So that's not a healthy way for you, because then you start doubting yourself, "Kiya, where am I going wrong?" So I
For
think
sure.
I did that for a very long time, and that's one inhibition that I'm talking about. Because people posting wouldn't motivate me. It would just like demotivate me, in fact, ki, acha, oh my god, they're doing so well, and what if the next song that I release wo itna acha na kare, and then I will be very disappointed in myself. But I think you need to get past that kind of an attitude for yourself, for your mental peace, because there's always going to be somebody who's better than you, and there's always going to be somebody who you are better from. So I think moving at your own pace and just doing what you love in your own time, it's one thing which I have really come around in the past year. And because I remember I wrote Thoda Sa Theher in early months of lockdown. I think May mein likha tha, but I
Okay.
never released it up until November. Yeah. So I started production in October. It took 1 month, and I was like, I mean, constantly I used to question myself, "Ki, acha, what if it's not good enough?" And I don't want I don't want the debut song to be, a failure that way. So yeah, but I think you eventually have to get out there, to experience to actually know what your audience likes and what it doesn't like.
For
So
sure.
that's one thing. And then I think another inhibition is just, I think this is probably about it, because recently I've just been too invested in Instagram, and I'm also thinking of starting YouTube again, because account has been like inactive since years now, and it's really giving me some anxiety ki acha ye bhi karna hai yaar, what the hell, मतलब Instagram पे कहाँ, things like that.
हाँ,
So,
इन लोगों ने
but
तो IPTV को भगवान भरोसे छोड़ दिया अभी तो
yeah,
YouTube के
I mean, come on. YouTube has it's like 10 times larger. It has a
yeah
10 times
it's
larger
the
audience than Instagram.
second biggest search engine in the world
Yeah,
now
I
so
mean, come on. And so many people over the past 2 years are like, "तुमने YouTube क्यों नहीं start किया? Why haven't you started YouTube? What is wrong with you?" I've gotten all sorts of constructive criticism also. Then I've gotten shouted at by dad. "Ki, acha, YouTube is the thing. Why aren't you like doing it?" And like,
oh
I will do it. I
okay
will do it. Like he's just been pushing me in different ways, and I'm just, I think, hesitant, because one thing, YouTube requires a lot of effort, because you
yeah
can't put ye 30 second ka, just like phone recording on YouTube. Nobody will watch it. So it has to have a professional sort of a setup, or like a thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think
no
that is
yeah
something I am still a little apprehensive about, but I will come around that. I swear I will, because I've made up my mind to like start YouTube in this coming week. Yes, I will do it.
oh wow okay was was your dad like other strict parents like 20 years back कि मुझे 95% चाहिए was he like मुझे silver play button चाहिए
No,
मतलब
I was a lousy student. I never had any interest in studies. Oh God. My sister, on the
right
other hand, she's a topper. And I'm like, I
oh
can't. Yeah.
oh that's great how you like have an elder sister or like a
No,
younger
younger one. That's even
oh
more
okay
embarrassing, because of course.
but yeah this is nice but
This is, yeah.
yeah but
But
that's great I mean that's completely fine
yeah,
right
I mean, that's totally unrelated. You do what you do you. So
for
yeah.
sure
I think the younger siblings have a little advantage in the sense. So I am the youngest sibling, by the way. So
Hmm.
the advantage was you don't have to if you're, so I have a elder sister, so if she has scored, let's say 90%, that's it. That's the only thing you have to do. You don't have to go for 100. That's an advantage in the sense that if she has
It's like a
scored 80,
bar. She said,
yeah,
huh.
that's it. You just have to touch that, and you'll be way more appreciated for that than your
I don't
that's
have
the
that
advantage.
privilege. I've never had that privilege because I set the bar only at 70, and then my sister ended up getting a 95. I'm like, what are you? What? It's
No, but even,
so
I mean,
yeah.
the thing is, even if, let's say you have set it up at 70 and she would have done 71, she would have still got the same treatment.
Yeah.
That's what I've
You are
seen.
saying that because you are
Yeah,
saying that because
that's,
you're a younger sibling.
yeah, that's
You
what.
don't understand our
No,
pain.
no,
You don't understand our suffering.
as the younger sibling, I relate. I relate. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Virtual fist bump. Virtual fist bump.
Yes.
So, but no, no, I agree. I agree. But speaking about all of that, like you also like what I really found interesting is apart from like doing so much stuff in terms of like performing arts,
Hmm.
you also play on a lot of instruments, which is really interesting. Like
Hmm.
we've seen ukulele, we've seen the guitar, we've seen the synthesizer. Is there any other instrument that you play?
I used to, when I was learning classical, I used to play the harmonium as well.
Oh wow,
Uh,
okay.
but to be very honest, ukulele requires zero effort. It's like four strings. You
Yeah.
open YouTube and though 2 to 3 fingers you use, and all your chords are like set. Look, I don't I don't consider
But
that
I'm
as a
learning to
different
do the guitar.
instrument.
Yeah, to protect my self-esteem, I try to.
Guitar is something which I would, yeah, like, I mean, I've learned it on my own because my Guruji only, he had taught me a few chords in the beginning. So, thoda sa strumming patterns I used to like usually figured out throughout, yeah, these past few years. So, decent enough I can play. Matlab, itna, I'm not confident, but I'm not also not very hesitant to like play guitar on stage. So,
Sure, sure, sure. So what is like your instrument to sort of compose songs on? Like everybody
Hmm.
has like sort of, is it like the synthesizer for you or the ukulele? What do you sort
it's
of
the
use?
guitar, always.
It's a guitar. Oh, okay.
Mhm, always.
Okay.
And writing and composing happen mostly simultaneously because I can't write without humming some tune to it,
Mhm.
and I
Sure.
can't hum a tune with no words because yeah,
Oh,
so
absolutely.
that's something which goes hand in hand.
Right, right. That's really interesting. That's really
Yeah.
interesting. What we also found majorly interesting about your sort of journey is that you're from Lucknow, which is
Mhm.
also like Parth Bhai and I were also talking like known for like gharanas. At the
Yeah.
same time, sort of ventured into like the Bangalore scene where I'm sure like you studied,
Yeah.
which also has its own Western influences. At the same time, Carnatic music is such a
Right.
such a
Yeah, such a big
main
thing. Yes.
which exists. How did you sort of where did you sort of start gigging? If I may also ask, was it like Bangalore where you started gigging? You said like you started
I
gigging in
mean,
the yeah. How
I
did
mean, gigs I began like, paid gigs I began in Bangalore. But of
right?
course, while I was here outside of school, I used to perform like, there was this event called Beats, and it was a fundraiser for cancer patients, and
Oh,
we
wow,
did
okay.
that. A lot of relief funds ke liye, Lucknow mein to, it's a small city and everybody knows everybody. Schools mein hi itna interaction ho jata hai, everybody ventures into different things. So they come
Sure.
back to you, they contact you, can you do this, can you do that? So yeah, I mean, Lucknow में काफी perform करा है वैसे तो before college, but I think confidence only came after second year for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Hmm.
So, आप मेरे को ये बताओ कि what is the thing that performing in these both scenes? What do you sort of? I'm sure that Lucknow में it's not been like the way it has been in Bangalore because the
Yeah.
vibe of the gigs is different.
Mm-hmm.
But how has that sort of trained you? What are the kind of musicians that you sort of met? What were the kind of venues that you sort of prefer performing at? All those things. If you could just tell us more about that.
I remember very distinctly this one time I met Shubha Mudgal ji and I went to her concert. And
Wow.
so one of my dad's friends, he had a VIP pass or something. So when she was done with her performance, we went backstage and, I spoke with her and I sang a couple of lines. I was so nervous. I was like, ma'am, please, this and that. And we got a picture also and she really appreciates like, good voice. I think. So yeah, I mean, I've met her and yeah, I think that's it. Because other than that, I don't have any memory of meeting anybody. If I did meet somebody big, I would have remembered. But there's this cultural fest which is held every year. It's called Sanat Kada, and I don't know if you guys have heard about it. So basically what it does is like everything, it has everything from, you know, clothes to like handmade clothes to, you know, dance forms, all sorts of dance performances, like traditional art forms, then classical music, Sufi music, and great food, of course, kebab and stuff. So that's like the highlight. But
Right.
yeah, that's something which I always look forward to. It happens in December every year. But of course, due to COVID, this last December it was virtual. So kya hi kare? But yeah, it's like something which I'm
That's
so
why I said it
disappointed.
was so hard, right? So
Yeah,
Calcutta was so hard.
मतलब हर सेंटेंस के बाद I feel like क्या ही करें, क्या कर सकते हैं, like what can we do? Oh God, it's like getting on my nerves. I've been here at home for like 1.5 years now, and it's driving me insane. I'm not somebody who is used to staying at home, so it's
Right.
irritating. But
Right.
yeah, these are a few things which I look forward to, and it's calming. It's a different sort of a setting, you know. Apart, you know, I've also performed in Delhi, of course, at the 2 years that I was in Delhi working. So वहाँ पे I think I did most of my gigs. I performed at Rasta, Delhi, then um, Piano Man, of course.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's been good, yeah. But like, you know, I want to be very regular at it, but unfortunately, अब क्या करें?
हम्म नहीं वो बात
So
तो है तो
yes,
या आई थिंक थोड़ा सा बीच में खुला था बट आई थिंक
yeah.
अभी वापस से वही हो गया
Hmm.
बट how many gigs have you done in total like if you could just put a number on it
यार ऐसे how can I just like what?
in generally like ऐसी between 150 200 300 how many gigs
1,000.
what are you saying
You don't believe me? You don't think
no no
I'm
no 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 I
1,000?
I'm in awe I'm not in shock I'm in awe so that's insane
No, of
wow
course I've not done 1,000 gigs.
I was
okay I
about
take my
to
all
ask,
back I
are
take my
you
all back
like, are we seeing
Wow. I mean,
actor in you?
yeah नहीं
1,000?
sorry
No,
हाँ
yeah.
नहीं I know people who do I know people who do like we've had a gentleman on our podcast who's done like 500 gigs
यार,
so
no, no.
and that too in like 4 years so
Oh,
मतलब कि
yeah, हाँ, फिर I no. But like, of course, even I've been performing since like 4-5 years, but no, 1,000 तो नहीं
हाँ
पहुंच. Must have been
हाँ
somewhere around 100, yeah. 90 to 100,
wow
yeah.
that's still a very size yeah that's a
Yeah.
very commendable number
Yeah.
so I mean you know doing all these things you know I think अभी जैसे जैसे you know times are going forward the vertical is sort of increase you know like आपकी एक social media presence है एक आपके गानों का catalog है जो आप डाल रहे हो on a constant basis at the same time आप एक gigging artist हो how do you sort of you know with all these changes happening and the uncertainty to you know the whole gigging aspect of it
No,
how do you look at your career
I was actually hoping ये question आएगा because I will tell you why. Because you know, I started off as a cover artist. Like initial posts of, you know, on my Instagram, they're all covers.
Mm.
And you know, shifting from a cover artist to an indie artist, you know, an original artist is like, it's tough because you've kind of made that kind of an audience who wants to listen to your covers in your way, you know, whichever way you make them. But something new always, like, you know, it just, people are just hesitant a little to, like, you know, experiment with new stuff. So but I'm really glad that Thoda Sa Hair was, it got immense support. And you know, it's a, you know, people who start, you know, performing and start with indie music, I think there's a better chance for them to like grow up to the ladder. But like you know, shifting from this to that is like thoda sa, it's time taking. But वही है, मतलब gigs are also not usually just covers. Like I've done original music as well. I performed at this festival in Jaipur back in 2019 where we did just we had a 20-25 minute slot, so we did only originals.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you know, I think performing originals will always be
your
more,
top priority yeah
yeah, it would just be, I would love that any day more than performing
sure
covers.
sure
So,
that's great that's great yeah
while we are at, I mean, while we have started again to touch upon your originals, I meant to ask this question earlier actually when you were talking about the inhibitions you had, and even when you talked about that guitar is one of the, I mean, it is more, more closer to you when you're
Huh.
composing. So, what I wanted to talk about is that you mentioned that when you wrote Thoda Hat Hai and you thought about releasing it, and then you thought, I mean, there was this, you were a little reluctant on what to do and what not to do and all that.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to actually touch base was I was reading the article in Rolling Stone as well, which mentioned that this was not supposed to be ukulele song.
Yeah.
this was supposed to be a completely different and a sad song,
Yeah.
which is what you mentioned. So how did that transformation happen? Because this was, I mean, I again want to touch base on that you had that innovation of the first song. I
Right.
mean, people tend to overdo things as well, but this is something that you changed completely
Yeah.
before moving into production and releasing the song. So how did that came
But
out?
listen, one thing I want to say, I am so touched that you read that article. Not many people
Yeah.
have the this thing to like swipe up and read कि अच्छा ठीक है थोड़ा सा clipping डाल दिया photo डाल दी उतना ही पढ़ के we'll let go. Listen, that's very nice. Thank you so much. And talking about थोड़ा सा ठहर, so it was actually supposed to be a very sad song. It was on the guitar. It was on a much slower tempo, and lyrics भी थोड़े I think different थे इधर उधर. But then I thought कि अच्छा ठीक है, and I performed. Of course I थोड़ा सा trial चाहिए होता है. So there's this friend who used to do live sessions, and I performed that song there, and it did not get that kind of a response that I thought कि अच्छा ठीक है इसको release करना है तो अच्छा response आना चाहिए. But I think, and then I spoke to that friend. He's like, थोड़ा सा try bringing in a little more, try making it a little upbeat. Because people are already sad right now. How much more sad do you want to, you don't want to put them into depression, please. So this is a good song. It has potential, but like thoda sa upbeat banao. So I think what
Right.
better instrument than a uke, to give it a happy vibe sort of a thing.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I picked up the uke and I just experimented thoda bahut idhar udhar, increased the tempo. Then I think just one day before I was going to record vocals at the studio, I changed the bridge completely because I'm very compulsive that way. So first of all, I don't share my writing before the song is out. Okay. Like the process is just for me, it is not for anybody to see, because I feel like, okay, if people will nitpick, everybody has their own, feedbacks to give, but I don't want to take those into consideration because this is something which this is mine. So, I don't want to like venture in. Not that I, don't consider कि अरे I'm such a big shot. मैं तो अलग वो लिखती हूँ यार super hit गाने no. But like it's just yeah, it's something which is personal, and I just changed it because I was so not satisfied. I was like, I can't go tomorrow and record this, please no. And I just went for a drive with my diary and my uke, and there's a spot near my house. It has a park, and I just sat in my car and I was like just humming, and within like 15 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes, I just wrote something random, came back home, recorded it, and gave it a tune. And that is actually where the song's title came from. That was the bridge, and thoda
Okay.
sa ठहर bridge में ही आता है. So I was like, yes, jackpot. So I was like, now I'm
क्या बात है.
satisfied. Now I'm ready. Now I will go tomorrow.
But again, I mean, this
Wonderful.
just shows that how you can't really say when that
Yeah,
perfect thing would come in.
exactly. It just comes when it has to.
For sure. For sure. So, speaking about this, speaking about the whole process जो आपने अभी तक tracks डाले, also tell us about Winter. How did Winter come to be?
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Winter, I think it's the most personal song that I've ever written. And like I said, of course, I was hesitant in releasing it. I think it is about, I mean, of course, it is about unrequited love, and I have been through that. So I think, and it just, I was in a very dark place. I think back in, October 2020, post October. So I thought, कि मतलब चलो, I want to like vent, I want to just channelize whatever I'm feeling right now. So I think, yeah, that's how it came. And I have literally chosen each and every word with so much, care, and just so precariously that, it's not heavy, it's not too heavy, and it's not too light. There's a perfect balance between, the kinds of words that I've chosen, because lyrics mean everything to me. Like I can't go forward with the production unless and until I'm completely satisfied with what I've written. So I think that, and yeah, I mean, I took it to Aman, the guy who's produced it. He's brilliant. He is next
Yes.
level. So he just gave it a totally different perspective, and I was just like, what? Wow, okay, now this is ready. Yes, so I think, yeah, a
Did
lot
you
of
go to me say, were you the person who had the heartbreak, or was it the way he polished the song? Were you like, was I the person who had the heartbreak, or was it you? I mean, but no,
oh god,
no, it was wonderful. It was genuinely, and I could sense that it had a very strong sort of emotional subtext to it, and
yeah,
I mean, it's great. And kudos to you for putting out like your vulnerabilities out there.
Yeah.
Sort of that's great. That's great. So talking about both the tracks that you put out, both the songs you put out, what is there in the future now? What are you planning to put out?
I actually did send Aman a demo just yesterday for another
Okay.
song, and we're just working on it. Thoda bahut abhi we're just in writing process mein hai abhi to. So he's like he gives I think he's one person just because I can share the demo without thinking ki arey what I don't want to like sound naive with my words and everything. He just gives a very constructive and a very positive feedback a lot of times. So he just, I mean, whatever things that he's telling ki ye thoda sa part iska change karo, maybe we can work on it. But definitely, so I mean that thing is also there na कि अच्छा winter अब तो Feb में हुआ था, now it's April. April is also almost over. तो वो थोड़ा सा रहता है ना that everybody is just constantly releasing music this left, right, center, and so that is there, I think. But I don't want to rush it at the same time because good things take time, and I want to make this song like in the best manner, no matter how much time it takes. So hopefully next month and next month. Yeah, it's a
क्या
Hindi
बात है,
song.
that's great.
Yeah.
तब तक आप 10 में 12 का रील डाल दो, सही है तो.
हो गया वो खत्म. Now it's my trend which is gonna get viral. You will see. I
Yes.
hope so. I hope so.
Absolutely.
I'm very modest.
You should
I'm
actually,
Yeah.
you should actually put out a remix for your track. See how it goes. I don't know. मतलब
that
if
could
people have listened to your
Yeah.
song this much, they can probably make a
You
remix.
should actually-
that would be actually a good idea.
Yeah, you should hire us in your marketing team now. This is our
For sure.
pitch. We basically did the
For
podcast
sure.
with you only for this point.
It's just that I don't have money to pay because indie artists are like
Give us
broke.
exposure. Exposure. Give us
Exposure.
yeah.
Right.
Give us 6 months of exposure with joining bonus of
Absolutely.
experience. But yeah, no, okay, that's great. That's great. So this sort of brings us. It's been honestly, I'm telling you, it's been a genuine pleasure talking to you and hearing your whole story. So thank you so much for coming and taking out the time. Also, we have like a last question, which is like a common question we ask to every artist, which is
Yeah.
what we call the corporate question, and which is what Parvai, only one artist yet, Mr. Ashwin Advani, he gets it. So nobody else has guessed the question. So I mean, you'll hear it, you'll understand it.
Bring
but that's
it
something
on.
only Parvai asks because he's from the corporate world. So Parvai, go for it.
So the question basically is, how do you see yourself, or how do you see the scene in the coming, I don't know, coming months or something?
Yeah,
We
in the
just took
coming
it out like, how do you see yourself in 5 years? So
yeah.
that's where the corporate.
That's just like, oh God. I don't want to answer that. I will not answer that.
अरे भाई तो
अरे because who has seen the future? अभी ये pandemic ही 10 साल लेगा खत्म होने में. I तो can't.
no, absolutely. Of course, I'm not saying कि
Hmm.
how the future will do it. Of course, I'm saying how would you possibly like the ideal future to unfold? आप समझ रहे हो? Like
Yeah, मतलब,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. Like,
that-
I know what you're saying, but I think for the time being, I have about 5 to 6 songs in my bank which I want to release as singles. I think I'll release 2 more singles and then I'll shift to an EP because, yeah, I mean, I want to. So I think for this year at least, I want to do singles. I want to finish off with the singles, and then next year maybe I can just work on my EP, write more. I mean, until whatever time I have at home in peace. So देखते हैं अभी. I don't know. तो ये 1.5 साल का थिंग I can give. 5 साल का I can't give. What?
no, of course not. मतलब, I was just saying कि we took that question and that's why we are calling it corporate.
Yeah, that's like a typical interview question. Okay, where do you see yourself after?
हाँ हाँ
ग्रेजुएशन के एंड में हम प्लेसमेंट्स के लिए बैठे थे, सबसे यही पूछा गया. Like
That's the most asked corporate question.
that's just
Yeah.
you
I
should
mean,
like
if someone is asking you in your interview, if someone is asking you that, that just means कि उसके पास question नहीं बचा. That's why we keep it as the last question.
that is sad, but okay, good for the person who is getting interviewed. Yeah.
Yeah.
चलो खत्म हुआ.
चलो खत्म हुआ. Yes. But thank you so much.
But it
Akanksha.
was amazing,
So
Thank you so
glad.
much for having. Yeah, thank you so much. It was amazing.
I'm so glad, and I hope आपका गाना eventually जो भी आएगा, we would love to even sort of talk about that in the future.
Yes,
however it
of
comes.
course.
So thank you so much for joining us in the first place, guys. Leave everything and go and follow Akanksha if you aren't following her already. Akanksha, if you just want to tell your Instagram ID to everyone.
Yeah, it's Akanksha Sethi Music. And if you mess up the spelling of Akanksha, I am coming after you. It is Akansha. It is
Okay. Yes. Very nice.
Akanksha. So please don't mess it up. Akanksha Sethi Music. Thank
Yes.
you.
Akanksha is a very peace-loving person, guys. Don't go by her.
Yes, I'm
Don't.
very, I am the sweetest. I am the sweetest
Yes.
person. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. But if you mess up a spelling, then it could bother
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Then you could just, yeah, because
It's
I don't,
justified. If she's mad at you, then it's justified. So don't do
I'll
that.
hunt you down. Yeah.
She's going to hunt you down. Absolutely. So please go and follow Kansha. She's put out two wonderful original songs of hers on Spotify, and go and check them out. I'm sure on other audio streaming platforms as well. People who made it to this point, you guys can go and follow us at soundhome.pod on Instagram. We put out a podcast every Friday on YouTube, I guess, and we've not put out since the past 2 weeks. So I mean, I don't. We spoke about the government, how you got promises. I don't want to be one of them. I mean, I don't know, just subscribe. Just subscribe. So
Yeah.
you never know. So we might just put out one. So go and follow us. We're there on Spotify as well. And thank you so much. Please support indie music, guys, and go and follow Kansha,
Yes.
the early. And we'll see you around. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You.
Bye, guys.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Take care.